The last speaker for today's session will deal with another quite specific topic, actually, because it's about blockchain, and more specifically, the role that blockchain can play in enforcing rights, which I think is very, very peculiar. Olivia Klimis is attorney at law at the Paris and Brussels bars. She is a lecturer also of European IP law at Paris East University. After years of experience in top-tier firms, she founded her own boutique firm, Klimis Law, in France, and also, I understand, she's active in Belgium. She is active in all fields of IP, media, advertising, digital, and retail law, and she is known as an expert of the interactions between blockchain and IP. Among other projects in this sector, she was invited to participate to the Blockathon organized by the European Commission, a project aimed at developing a blockchain solution to efficiently fight trademark infringement in Europe. She's going to discuss that, among others, but also on the significant role that blockchain is likely to play in the future in IP. Thank you very much, Olivia.
Thank you very much, Olivier. So, I'm not a computer engineer, so please don't ask me any technical question. On the other hand, this has an advantage. With me, you will have blockchain for dummies. Blockchain has been considered by the European Commission as an extremely important subject. It has announced that up to 340 million euros would be dedicated to the creation of a European blockchain by the end of 2020. This is a lot of money. So this does not mean that blockchain is just like some kind of fashion. It really matters. The Blockathon was first organized last year, and this was the occasion for public authorities, right holders, and coders. Basically, it was a coding competition aimed at developing an anti-counterfeiting system based on the blockchain. We are still working on it. There will be a second Blockathon. There is now a blockchain forum. So all the people that are concerned by anti-counterfeiting are now meeting around the blockchain question in order to find solution. Because blockchain is exciting. It is promising in the field of intellectual property. Let me tell you what. But first, what the hell is blockchain? Who in the audience has really understood what blockchain is? Raise your hand. Thank you. Okay. So, your servant will try to help you understand what it is. So let's try to compare it with things that you are familiar with as human beings, but also as IP lawyers. First of all, is it working? Yes, it's working. Okay, need to get it down this way. Good. Blockchain is like a book. Each operation that is registered into the chain is converted in one unique hash code. So this is an algorithm, basically, that creates each operation. Each operation is like a page of a book. The next operation will be written after the previous operation. So it is irreversible. Once it is written, you cannot go back. Second, you remember Napster, Grokster, all these cases concerning peer-to-peer technology in the years 2000? This works a little bit the same way, meaning that blockchain is based on the sharing of information between different computers. Each computer is named a node, basically. The difference here is that the very same information is stored on each single computer. It is a requirement for the blockchain to function. What does that mean? It means that if on one computer you change the information, the system blocks. You cannot amend information. And this makes the blockchain potentially unhackable. That's why the blockchain is like a notary. And that's why it's very exciting, because it has an innate authenticating power. We do not need a trusted third party as a notary to certify, or a public office to certify that some operation is authentic. The system will authenticate each operation that will be registered into the chain. So this is really interesting, of course, in the field of intellectual property. And moreover, it is combined with cryptographic technology, which means the information in the chain cannot be read by anyone. You need keys to access the information, and this also we are interested in, because this means that if you are an infringer, you cannot just have access to sensitive information. You need to have a specific access to it. Blockchain is like a computer program, but it's like a 3.0 computer program. It interacts with other computer programs, including artificial intelligence, but also with the public, because it allows the participation of each member of the channel when we're concerned about a product channel. We will come back to that. And finally, like NEO, blockchain is a promising child because it has the potential to solve problems that no human being could solve as of today. But at the same time, it is still a teenager. Some questions remain unsolved. We do not really know whether they will be solved in the future, so we still need some time to see whether all the promises that blockchain creates can really be made come true. So why blockchain does it better? Authentication. There's something you need to understand about blockchain, the difference between blockchain, human beings, and a central database. It has the potential to authenticate operation which has two special characteristics. First, they are decentralized. So there, it beats central database. And this is, of course, very interesting in our field, because even though the information is stored on several computers, blockchain keeps an authenticating power, which means that power can be shared at the international level. We don't have discussion about who's going to have the seat of the United Patent Court. No, everybody has a computer. Each office has a computer, the right holders, the custom, the police, and everybody shares the power. The blockchain, the algorithm, creates the authenticating power. And this also reduces the risk of fraud because the power is shared. No one has the power, everybody has the power together. Second characteristic of the operation, they are automated. There, blockchain beats human being because it has the potential to implement a massive number of operations in a very short number of time. Just give you an example. In Estonia, the business registry is now based on blockchain. It has reduced the registration time from 5 days when you create a company to, how long do you think? Couple of minutes. So you can just picture yourself what we could do with like rights registration. So each operation has to have those two characteristics for blockchain to be interesting. Well, as I told you, I'm not a computer engineer, I'm a lawyer. So before you get too excited about the blockchain, I need to put a few disclaimers so you're aware of the risk. But well, let's put it like that. Look at this list. Some of those might be quite accessible, others may raise particular concerns to you. I'm happy to answer any question. But just to focus on a couple of them. Translating law into code. In Italian, we would say traduttore, traditore. Translation is a betrayal, which means that if you need to put legal provisions into an algorithm, there will be some challenge to make it be identical. I guess you can quite understand that. Interoperability. We already have databases, central database spread across the world. It would be extremely difficult to recreate the whole database and put them into the blockchain. So how can we ensure portability of the information? This is a real challenge. And then legal enforceability. Well, we don't have a legal decision yet. We don't have legislation. We need to play with the existing rule. Someday, someone maybe will try to get the blockchain be admitted before court. Maybe it will be me, maybe it will be you. Let's focus on the bright side now. Let me pitch you the bright side concerning the three first characteristics, meaning registration, smart contracts, and track and trace. Registration. One single and reliable database, up to date, evidencing all unregistered rights worldwide, allowing easy identification of right holders and easy priority search. What about smart contracts? Removing the value gap. No collective society. Contract automatically implemented, including complex financial provision and management without border. Third, track and trace. This is our concern today. No escape for infringer, clearly and immediately distinguishing counterfeit for genuine goods, counterfeiter for member, allowed distributor, manufacturer, importers, through the automatic implementation of the algorithm. And what is great with the blockchain is that those three characteristics can interoperate with each other within the same system. And this also creates potential concerning confidentiality, meaning trade secrets or know-how, because you understand that it works with cryptographic evidence, which means that you can really store sensitive information safely, disclose it only upon the signing of a smart contract, and then monitor it across the internet and block any unauthorized users. So blockchain, your IP, what are you waiting for? You can see it's quite easy. You create something. Of course, it works better for some products than for others. Think of digital art, videos, any type of media is very convenient because we are faced with a lot of infringement over the internet. You then upload it on the blockchain, you get a certificate, it creates a unique hash code which corresponds to the product and is based on its unique characteristic. A specific person has uploaded the work onto the chain at a specific time, and it has specific characteristics. All this is written into the code. You can see this is copyright evidence. And then you can share your creation over the internet. Because what is interesting, as I told you, is that it interoperates with smart contracts, and several private companies, many legal techs are booming in the fields, allows you, when you upload your work, to select a smart contract that goes with your work. What does that mean? It means that the user, if the user is looking, for instance, to get a specific piece of music or a 3D printing file, any type of file he would like to use, he can just look over the internet, go on the database, look for the price, pay the price, and get the product. And as far as any digital users are concerned, the blockchain will monitor that you respect the provision of the smart contract. If not, your use will be blocked. So this is really promising. What about track and trace? Are there any Scottish in the audience? No. One. Well, you can proud to be a blockchain leader in the field of intellectual property enforcement. Here you have Arna Morgan whiskey, which is a Scottish whiskey, of course, and which is the first product that has implemented a track and trace solution based on the blockchain. On the right-hand side, Carrefour in France has also implemented a solution based on the blockchain. It works with QR code. I think you are all familiar with the use of QR code. You can see it on the screen, right? On the top of the bottle, on the chicken. This is something we're now accustomed to. What you need to know concerning QR code is that the control of the codes needs to be given to the right owner or to a load user, meaning the manufacturer, the distributor. This is how you ensure that each code will be related to an authentic product. It is affixed to the product or to the packaging. The packaging can be sealed. They now have sealing techniques so that it is open, there will be a notification in the chain. So repackaging, reconditioning, it's quite complicated to do with the blockchain. This is also something to keep in mind. But not only. The difference between the blockchain and traditional solutions like Scantrust or Acteo is that everybody can participate. Every person that is part of the authorized user from the distribution channel and manufacturing channel can get a key that will also be produced by the right holder and can add information into the channel. What is interesting here is that we can cooperate all together in order to fight enforcement. The more information we get about the manufacturing and distribution process, the more difficult it will be to import infringing product. Because basically, what is really interesting is that the code related to the blockchain can be sent upfront to the customs. What does that mean? It means that if you do not respect the authorized channel that was set up by the right holder, the customs will receive a notification telling, oh, there's a product that seems to be problematic because it was supposed to be manufactured this way and go in that direction, and then for some reason it stopped there. We can know all this because blockchain works with other tracking technology like geolocation, for instance, but other tracking technology. Once there is a problem in the channel, you will get an instant notification, and the notification can be sent to the customs or any public authorities. Another promising aspect of the blockchain, you can create aggregated codes. What does that mean? It means that you have a container of 1,000 products. Each parcel, each product has a unique code. And products are put in package of 10. Then you have a code which is the addition of the different code. Again, it's an algorithm, it's a mathematical operation. But you cannot copy it because it's crypted. It's crypted, meaning the infringer cannot just copy the code and put it on his parcel, because each code is based on the unique characteristic of the product. That product manufactured in this place by this person that was sent on that date. Everything is in the chain. It would be impossible for human beings to track so many information, but the blockchain can do it. But what is really interesting is not only about, offline product. It's about online sales, e-commerce. Every operation can be documented into the chain, including the upload on the internet. the sale, the date it was sold over the internet, and so on. So this means that in the future, when you sell a product like a luxury bag, like Chanel bag over the internet, you could have access to the specific code that concern the bag that you will purchase now over the internet. It's not about the general certification that's written downstairs, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. You will have a code saying, okay, yes, this person is allowed to sell that specific bag, which comes from that specific origin. And if there's one single detail registered in the chain that does not match the product, you could be notified. So you will just not buy the product. So this has the potential to raise confidence in e-commerce, and of course, to distinguish immediately between fake offers and offers of genuine goods, certified resellers and counterfeit, which could be automatically excluded because it goes very quickly. Again, we don't need human intervention. We can send bot notices. In the long term, we could automatically block access to content. It's quite exciting, I must say. It could make the internet safer. So I hope now that you understand why the blockchain is a promising child, in particular in the field of e-commerce. Why? That's quite provocative, isn't it? Well, it looks like it, but if you get interested into the blockchain, you'll see that if you go and start talking to the blockchain, I mean, the blockchain nerd, those that have made the blockchain, that are working on the blockchain as of today, in close relationship with public authorities, rights holders, sponsored by the European Commission, you will see that this could be the future. But for this, we need political will. We need to raise awareness about the subject and understand that if we all work together, then we can really make the dream come true. Well, this is what I had to say. I'm happy to answer any question about the subject that were not discussed during the presentation, either now or later. Olivier, what do you?
Since you still have 5 minutes, Olivia, can you say a few words about the Blockathon and the project you have been invited as an expert? Because it's about trademark infringement, and I would be very interested personally to know what it is about and what it can offer in the future.
Okay, I will. Okay, so basically the Blockathon took place in Brussels a year ago. You had about 10 different teams of coders that received the training from public authorities, especially official and police services, but also like tracking companies and so on. What was really exciting is that all those experts of IP enforcement started really discussing specificities and sharing information from very different backgrounds. And this allows us to see things like the possibility to aggregate code. Meaning you got a container, there's one single code on the container, you can scan it, and you know that the 1,000 products in the container are genuine. You do not need to open it anymore. And when if I'm daring today to tell you that, it's because I heard them, the IT expert, saying it's possible. Of course it's possible. That's blockchain. Then what was interesting is that we really had a discussion about the legal requirements that are specific to our practice and how they could integrate them in the IT system to ensure that in the long term, blockchain will be compliant and could be acknowledged by a court or by legislation.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.